Coming to you live at 1400 hours, 38 minutes. It is March 12th, 2022. First, I want to start off and give props in a moment of silence to the people that we have lost this year, or family members, loved ones, or friends, for the great memories they have presented us in their lifetime. And give a shout out to all the new lives that's being born today, yesterday, and this year, the last couple of years, that's going to have the great memories to come. Thank you for that. And then now I'm going to start my presentation. This is the power of oneness. If you haven't known, check out the Power of Oneness series that I have on my playlist. It's called the Power of Oneness. This is chapter 9, B. The command in you. You have to activate and access it. So we take about 10 minutes, 15 minutes explaining what that means in the spirituality in the world and the information and the education I have received of what is and what is not. Most people will come across and say, this is what they believe in. But the powers in me is not a belief. It's inside of us. It is something that we all have. If you don't think you have any control of who you are, if you believe in another power that's greater than you, and that only that power can give you power or energy or anything else, this probably won't be for you. And I appreciate it. And if you want to keep on, but remember, I'm not speaking on a power outside of yourself. I'm speaking the power that you have. Nothing can add on to it. Nothing can make it stronger. Nothing can make it greater. The only way this power can be activated and accessed if you give it a direction. So that means you have to command this power. And this power today, in the power of oneness I'm speaking of, you ever hear me or someone else, but mainly someone that's talking to you, say, I don't say, I hope. I threw that out my vocabulary because I don't hope for anything. There is no hope. A child is not procreated in hope. My dreams are not done in hope. My actions are not done in the hope it will happen. It's done in a grace, and grace is an action word. So if I am hungry and I need to put food in my stomach, I can't hope that somebody bring food to my door. I can't hope that all of a sudden food is going to fall from the sky. I have to do something called work. So in this work is a command. So I don't call us human beings, and we're not part of society. We are beings. And if you look up the word be, it's an action word. To be or not to be. So if you were to say, I am going to go to the store, that is an action. You have to do something. So the action you're going to perform, you're going to end up at the store. But if you never perform that action, which is walking, actually getting up off the couch, or whatever action you had to do to leave out of that door, get in a car, walk, ride a bike, it's an action. You are not just magically into the store, just as that's why I don't use the word hope. Hope is a word that has no direction, no command. So as we look at the word be, The reason I say be well is the action of well. You are already well. So I'm giving your spirit a command. I'm not hoping your spirit's going to be well. No, your spirit is going to be well because you gave it the command. So when I speak to you, I spoke to you in authority. I declare and I decree authority over me. Again, if a person have believing in an upper power or upper echelon or another entity to give them energy and power, they won't receive this. They won't actually become who they are supposed to become, because what there's going to keep happening is going to be a cycle. But then the people that say it worked because they actually went out there and did something about it, they actually worked. See, this probably be good on a Sunday because a lot of people love to presume, or in their perspective, to say it worked because no, I have to. And I ask you this now, I never do the power of oneness or the power of goodness. You see, I don't have a power of negative, but I have to ask you this question. If you did an action today, right now, you know your rent is paid, need to be done on the first. Your rent, which is the average of Buffalo, New York State, not New York City, New York State, Buffalo, New York, rent will probably be $700 to $800 for a 1 bedroom, or $600, depends on where you're staying, what area. You know you need $600. Either you have this money already saved by the actions, or now are you working towards to get that new set of money so you can put it away to pay your rent on the first. So you have another 3 weeks to do that. But in between those 3 weeks, you're doing everything in your power. You're making decisions and you're making choices, and your actions, you are going out buying things you don't need, something that's a name brand that you don't need. Because if you look in your closet, you have everything you have. Most people only wear 20% to 30% of their clothes. Same thing as your phone. We'll go buy a new phone that's cost $1,500, but you already have a phone that you already use less than 50% of the max capacity of the megabytes on the phone, or the data, not the data, but the actual space, the RAM, the processing. You're only using half of it within a year or 2 years. So why in 2 years later they coming out a new phone? Why would a person go out there and buy a new phone? Because that shows you they have no power over who they are. So those people, most such as, are allowing, which now in this case is the phone, or if it's Apple, Samsung, Toshiba, they are allowing those entities to have more power over them than they have over themselves. Because you're letting them know that I don't have no power over me, because I need to go buy your new $1,500 phone, which I don't need. I only use 50%, and most people are using less than that. Because if your phone, if you're not storing in your calendar, that's about 5 to 8% that you're not using. If you're not storing in your email that's aligned to your RAM and your processor, you're not storing anything. So you're allowing space that's not used. So why in a year or two, which you still haven't used the full capacity of the phone, your phone not outdated, it still runs on the same wireless, it still performs the same way you need it, unless you just threw it around and broke it. Why are you buying a new phone? You don't understand the power of that phone already. So if you don't understand the power of something, how are you moved on to another phone already? So in the power of being who you are, I want you to take the time out to think about the things you are utilizing in your power. But if you under impression that there's an entity bigger, stronger than you out there that can have more power, more force, and gang over you, you probably will not receive this message at this time you are listening. So what I have came up with, which I feel more comfortable, more comfortable, even though that sound correct to use, which I call the power of oneness, which was I worked on for a while. And it's not just a saying, it's a word. As you say, if you believe in other entity, other sources to give you knowledge and education, there should be no problem, no matter what you believe in and how you perceive it. That education you still should be educated. You still should be learning. This should be a challenge for you to understand. And the guy, and I've used this a lot. My friend had asked me, which I used to call my covenant brother, but I didn't keep the covenant to him. So my covenant is a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. And you're not supposed to covet, but I took the time out that I thought a person was great to me as he's not my brother through blood, but through the spirit. So that's a covet. Just as when you in marriage, you don't marry for the paper. You don't marry for the license. You marriage in your heart. That's a covet. So you have a wife if you are a man. And then you as a man, you covet your wife and you do things upon you and your wife to make sure you are good first and your wife is good. And then if you have children, if you have now other things come to play, but you have the power in you to activate and access. And what I say, you don't have to use this, but take into account if you want. I call this the power of oneness. And you can say this to yourself, is as now people pray or they sing, they do songs, psalms. This is my word. I call all of my power back to me from all places, all beings, and from all timelines. I call all of my power back to me. I cancel any and all contracts that do not serve my higher good in all things and in all times. Now, I said that first. Now, I was going to read this first, but I'm going to read it. Then I'm going to say it one more time. Remember, while you're doing this and you're saying this, to imagine all your particles or energies flowing back to you. So every time you is giving yourself away to an entity that I have no, and that's why I don't use the word, and I'm not scared to say this. I have no idea who your God is. You heard me say your God. So if you have a God, whatever your belief, I have no idea of your religion. I studied it. I still have no idea where that came from. Don't matter how I haven't got to the part that said this came finitely nothing in this earth have ever. There's an absolute. Oh, I know if I walk at direction, the absolute, if I go a direction, so this command, I'm going to give myself a command in the direction. That's the only way it's going to go. Hear this out again. If I give myself a direction or a command on where it's going to go, that's the only way. It can't deviate. Now, let's get back to it real quick to the negative, or I slip my mind again. Now, when you speak, so now if you think about all the actions you've ever done in your life, think about them. We know where good go, right? It goes to good. Where do negative go? Nobody ever thought about now as you paid that, you don't have money now at the end of the month to pay your rent. Why? Because you did everything, all the what? Actions. And actions equated to your works. So all the work that you did to make sure you didn't pay your rent is going to go where? Nowhere. It's going to go in that direction you sent it. You needed to pay your rent, but you spent your money on things that's not going to help you pay your rent. So guess what? You're not able to pay your rent. So why would you, as a person that done this, go out and ask people for they done the work and you haven't? Now, if you ever look at all my videos and watch some of them and listen to me, I don't entertain certain things, but I will stand up for myself, as you can see when you see those videos. And I will give the person a chance. So I will give them in their power a chance to redeem themselves within themselves, nothing to do with me. They ask you, who are your enemies? I don't know. I'm in my bottom of my heart and the top of my heart. But remember, when all of this energy is flowing back to you, bring it into your heart, your crown, and root into the ground. So your crown is your head, and then the soles of your feet. So that means take all the energies when you call in all your powers back to you. to where it needs to go. If you need to run tomorrow, if you run it, if Monday is when you start a new job, your business finally have hit a mark, use that power that you need to continue. Because when that day comes, that time comes, that's a new direction. My business now have hit the income to pay 4 people. I surpassed me trying to pay 2 people because now my business is big enough. So now when my benchmark hit, I can pay 6 to 10 people. I finally can have stock. So what you're trying to create is stock within yourself. That's the power you have. Nobody else can touch it. No entity. I don't care what you believe. No entity right now can touch the power that I'm commanding in myself. None. You can believe what you want to believe. That's your belief. I'm a knower and I'm a truth seeker. I don't know. I don't believe in anything anymore. I'm no longer a child. I got past that. I know this is going to work because this is how I work it. I'm going in that direction I commanded. So again, power of oneness. Imagine all your particles and energies flowing back to you. Bring it to your heart, the top of your head, and the bottom of your feet, and bring it all into you, wherever it needs to go. I call all my powers back to me from all places, all beings from all timelines. I call all of my power back to me. I cancel any and all contracts that do not serve my higher good, my highest good in all things and all time. I call all of my power. So now I'm going to call all my power back to me. Imagine it. Let it close your eyes. It's seeking into you from all places, everywhere you went all week, your job, your work. This is your power. They cannot have it. This is when I say you sold your soul. That means you have no power over who you are. That's what it really means. You can't sell your soul, but you can give away all your essence. That's what is called your power away. And you have none. All beings. So every person that have touched you and been around you gave your power, call it back. They don't need it. They have their own power. And it's not in a mean way. Nobody needs your power. Stop giving it to them. They have their own. They have to call it back. They have to, if everybody use their own power, we can be as one. Because if you as one, just as love, I love me before I loved anything else. There's no way I can love something if I can't love myself first. I can't love nothing at all until I love who I am as a person, as a being, an action. I am here. From all timelines. So when I was 3, when I was coming out of my mother womb and my father's seed, I have my power, not theirs. My father protected my mother in the womb. In the womb, that was my mother. When I came out, now I'm under my power. And when I was living with my mother to a certain age and father to a certain age, they were just guarding me. They wasn't giving me. I don't need their power. So I'm going to give them their power back, and I'm going to call all of mine. I call all my power back to me. I cancel. So we cancel. If voodoo work on you, voodoo now, I'll put challenges. If I'm such a bad person, and people get scared. I'm not scared to say Bloody Mary, to say God strike me down if I'm lying. Kill me right now if I'm going to do something bad right now. I'm not scared. My heart don't flicker. I don't waver because I don't work that way. I'm not thinking that I'm about to go kill somebody. I have no authority and power over another person. I have nothing I can access or activate within that person because that's not me. I'm not scared to say, if you got voodoo, send your voodoo through this screen, come to my face. I will destroy your voodoo because my power is greater than your voodoo. My power is greater than your Christianity. My power is greater than your Islam because your power is defiant on another higher source that's controlling you. I am not being controlled. Then they put in traps, incantations and spells and hypnosis on you. You are under a spell. You followed the money spell. Now you about to be under the blood spell. When you say in the blood, I'm going to accept it of my woman. That's her power. I have nothing to do with her power. But I know when it's time for me to get down and gritty and protect my woman, my power is going to be there. I will destroy anything that come before me. But I don't even have to destroy it with evil. That's the beautiful part. I don't have to murder to destroy evil. I don't have to hurt you to be good. I don't have to do anything. I can be good by sitting here. And all the contracts do not serve my higher. So that contract you have with that religion is going to serve you. Oh, wait, no, you don't have your own power. So you have to serve the religion. You have to serve a God that you don't know. Oh, you know, but you haven't took the time out to read all of the literature. You said, I got this from one place. No, you didn't, because that one place derives some from, you won't even take the time out. How did you know this? Because it's called echo chamber. It's called traditional fascination. I'm just saying what it can be called. It's not the exact name. In all times, so at all times, my power is not, I'm not giving my power away. If I did, there's a reason. But what I'm doing, I am still activating and accessing the power that's in me. So if this scared you, it's not for you then. So the power of oneness will never be with you. So when you go out there and try to be a protector or provider as a man, and you try to be a nurturer or a nester as a woman, you're going to probably have a hard time. But if you believe in those powers and you practice it, it's going to be all right. But it's not going, people say, I haven't been in the relationships I've been in have not been hard because they were not mine. I was not, and I had no power over them. Even when I did give my love, I had no power because that woman did not want me. So we got to understand that. That's we got to get off them YouTube channels. These platforms are wrong. And I will tell them to their face, you are wrong. Love is the greatest element you can have. And if you don't love yourself, if you don't have power over yourself, you cannot do nothing. So what I say unto one, I say unto all, it's your path, it's your journey, it's your choice. Choose wisely. If you think power comes from something else and not you, that's why you're going to keep running into the things you have. I have no struggles when I work within my power of who I am. But my struggle is when I allow an entity or something else that is not of me to tell me of what I am and what I'm not, but that entity do not know who I am and what I am not. Because I know, and the truth of who I am is greater than what something that was created before me to bring me down. I'm not going to fall for a trap or incantations or an enchantment. But I will seek for the truth and the logic and the education and the understanding and the spirituality that I have. So you declare and decree your power is with you. So if you receive this, thank you. If not, this may not be for you. It might serve you later. You have a great day. Shalom.